Hi, guys. Welcome back to the program. And today we kick off this very special Friday with Irish Invasion Talk. It's the annual recruiting event held in South Bend, right on campus each and every year, specifically created for the Notre Dame football program. And while it encompasses most recruits from the 2027 and 28 classes, there will be sprinkles of players that are interested or have even verbaled from the 26 class. So it's a big day on campus. Quarterbacks will generally be the focus with events like this. More on that momentarily. But when you get high schoolers from across the country, and Notre Dame's going to see about 100 plus kids that are coming from various classes, 26, 27, 28, who have some varying interest in attending the University of Notre Dame and playing football while there. Quarterback and this year tight end, especially moving forward as they try to build that position out on the roster. And defense as a whole, the entire unit of 11, is going to be of major intrigue. And it's very intriguing to me this go-round because of what Notre Dame has done in the 26 class on the defensive line and defense as a whole, and also because I want to see what else is able to develop from the tight end position. Now, when you take a look at some of the kids that'll be here for Irish Invasion on Friday, you got 6 foot, 185 pound, 27 safety Jake Thies. He's going to be there for the event. Catholic Memorial edge rusher Isaac Miller, the kid out of Wisconsin, same class. He's going to be there. Those they've locked down. You talk about Quentin Burrell, a wide receiver in the 27 class, and look, I've said it time and time again, and you know this, and other outlets have said it too. While there is talent up and down the Notre Dame roster from a pass-catching perspective, the recruiting has, for the most part, been underwhelming in recent seasons. So when you get someone like Burrell from Mount Carmel, Illinois, a big 4-star, can go up, get the football, and use that elite speed, that's a big deal. You want to continue to add some of the consistent talent at positions like wide receiver and tight end, so you have the future already in the cards. And I think, as it is usually each year, Irish Invasion, and this is the first time, right? We've had Irish Invasion coming on the heels of a near national title with Notre Dame appearing in last season's national championship contest. This is a big one. It's going to have a different feel, even from me being in New York, away from it this year. It just feels different for all the right reasons. And again, with over 100 prospects expected to be in attendance, this is another great sign that Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame remain a major draw. And it's definitely something that we'll see reports coming out of. The good, the bad, what went really well. This is a huge deal, hence the name Irish Invasion. It is exactly that. And it's going to give players a glimpse of what their future might hold if they choose to attend the university and play ball, and also the coaches a little more intimacy involved in getting to know these young men on a one-to-one level, not just as football players, but as people. You cannot put a price on that. The quarterbacks will be the big draw here. And, I'm very interested to see how the tight end group, you've heard me talk ad nauseum about that, because we know that in the 26 class, at least, Coach Freeman wants to get at least 2 locked up, right? But for Irish Invasion purposes, when you're talking about what you're looking at this Friday, you'll have an assortment of guys from the 27 class that are going to be there. I've spoken about Teddy Gerard just a few days back. He'll be there. Malachi Ziegler from Louisiana will be in attendance. And this kid's recruitment, we know the ceiling, but the recruitment continues to grow across the country, and it's great that he's going to be on campus. And additionally, and this is something that has started to come out of the woodwork as well, this event, from a quarterback perspective, is also going to give Notre Dame and its coaches looks at Derek Baker, who's a gunslinger from Georgia. He's really become a hot commodity in recent time. And then you've got another signal caller out of Kentucky, Emmett Green. So while they might not be household names yet, like a Jamison Purcell, who will be there, or a Gerard, or a Malachi Ziegler, who I know that the fan base is absolutely head over heels with, you're going to get some damn good talent that's going to be there, and it's going to help Notre Dame identify Coach Gino, Coach Denbrock, and Freeman, how they want to build that position moving forward, which again is crucial, especially where you are at this time as a program for Notre Dame, right on the precipice of turning this into something even greater than it's already become. Of note, and just personally for me, being a diehard New York Giants fan, Carson Shane, the son of New York Giants GM Joe Shane, is going to be in attendance, and well, Kid plays his ball at Don Bosco in New Jersey. So lots of talent going to be there across the board for 100 plus kids going to be in attendance. But the quarterback position will be viewed most heavily, you would think, by those covering in the media, yours truly, and then the fans following our news as well, and for those right reasons. You know what you have on the roster now with the competition between CJ Carr and Kenny Minchey, where it looks like, again, Minchey might be leading the race. But moving forward, if you're able to build this roster at a quarterback position that gives you depth and competition week in and week out, off season into the season, that's all you can ask for, and that's exactly what Marcus Freeman and his staff are starting to do. I really enjoyed a piece that Irish Illustrated released earlier in the week. Been big fans of those guys for a long time. There's a lot of good press outlets out there, Irish Tribune, Irish Illustrated, that run different reports that we think about occasionally but don't really invest too much in. The United Football League, the UFL, which was the combination of the USFL and the XFL back in 2023. The season, regular season concluded recently, and you had a slew of Notre Damers, alums of the football program that played this year. Everybody remembers running back Tony Jones Jr., just a bruiser. Safety Jalen Elliott had a nice career in South Bend. Shane Simon did as well. Alize Mack, I remember when he came aboard, the expectations were through the roof, and it just never really materialized. So those are some of the guys who played. Jameer Jones and Paul Mayola, who were also involved in the UFL, got some time as well, and they were, varying levels of recruiting. When you talk about Mwala, someone who was sort of an outlier when he came on board at Notre Dame, and in similar fashion to what we saw with Mac, just didn't really materialize. But parlaying these guys are into a pro career, which gets them looks at the NFL, which just had its recent draft, and the preseason is right around the corner. So it was great to see some of these guys get some run in the UFL as that league now heads into the postseason. Also of note, former Irish assistant Skip Holtz, obviously the son of the legend Lou, is the head coach of the Birmingham Stallions. When you combine what the XFL and the USFL were before the merger, Holtz was winning titles with Birmingham, and now that team is going for its fourth consecutive title across all leagues. So that's pretty interesting to be led by Skip Holtz. And it's always great seeing former Irish athletes in any sport continue their careers, whether it be on the field, business, academia, whatever it might be. And I really appreciated this piece that Irish Illustrated put out. And if you want to read out more, they broke down everything about the careers that a lot of these guys that are playing from Notre Dame in the United Football League did statistically this season. So you want to just give a big shout out to a lot of those guys playing professionally as they look to take that leap into the NFL from the UFL. And just as we wrap up today, I found it interesting from a sort of respect standpoint that ESPN, when they released their rankings and their football power index, a lot of people invest in this, and I never really understood why. Is it fun? Sure. Is it statistically driven? Right? It's a numbers game. So the information is collected digitally and it's packaged together. Now, ESPN releases their FPI, the Football Power Index, how they rank teams based on different criteria and all that jazz. Notre Dame comes in 7th. Okay, fine, top 10. I believe Notre Dame has a top 5 roster, regardless of the fact that they will have a first-year quarterback under center, either Minchey or Carr. But the interesting thing to me that really stood out is when you follow this model, and that's basically just what it is, they gave Notre Dame less than a 50% chance to reach the college football playoff, which is, I don't want to call it alarming because it's just a model. It's just a prediction based on numbers and all these different calculations that go way above this ball dome of mine. But I mean, you're looking at this thing with the odds of Notre Dame running the table to go 12-0. We're at like 7 or 8%. They said the odds are that they have Notre Dame as a 9-3 team. I know the schedule opens on the road in Miami. Then you come home for A&M, and there are tough games on there, as there usually are with an ND schedule. But coming off the season that they have with the roster that they've built going into the 25-26 campaign, I think double-digit wins is right there. I think you have a greater opportunity than probably 7% to run the table. And certainly, in my opinion, there have been tough losses along the way. Northern Illinois can happen again. A Tulsa, a Duke before they really turned into a more prominent program from a football perspective. Bad loss years ago in the snow to Syracuse when I was in college. South Florida, they're Marshall, the near disaster a couple years ago on September 11th against Toledo. Bad losses can happen on a blip on a radar, but you would think that Notre Dame, and feel free to chime in the comments if you think I'm wrong, would have better than a 7 to 8% chance of running the table this year. Conventional wisdom tells me that a 7 to 8% chance exists more so, for those who hate Notre Dame than it does for those who are more realistic to say, hey, you know what, 8%, 7%, a little low for this Fighting Irish team who won 14 of 16 and beat some giants along the way. But again, it's just a model. And when you look at the totality of everything that's gone on in South Bend from a football perspective, this team is just different. All right? Let the prognosticators, let the systems do their thing. The proof's in the pudding when Notre Dame goes out and win football games like we all think they will this season. And I did think it was relevant. It's a fun talking point. It gets the hot button issues for people. It gets them revved up. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really mean much. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will talk to you all tomorrow. We'll see how this Irish invasion shapes out heading into the weekend and any more buzz that comes your way from the recruiting world. I'm Pete Mulroy, glad to be with you as always. And, of course, go Irish.